You're watching Bruniverse Videos. For more videos, check out Jim'sBreuer.com.
This whole thing is the other side of Metallica. How well do you know your own music? We'll get into that. Well, how well do you know comedy? And how well do you know each other? Very simple stuff. Some family stuff, blah, blah. It'll be painless. Feel free to comment on anything. You look
we'll
scared,
make it
Lars.
painful, okay? It's
sure
not
you will.
painless. Come on.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will.
Just do me a favor.
Yes,
Don't
Lord.
forget to eat.
Oh, I will.
You're
like
wasting
that.
away. No, you're wasting away, man. Come on, look at you.
After
Away
the bet's
is-
done,
You're wasting
he's
away.
going to start grubbing.
I noticed that you're
I
a
am.
bit svelte there. You're looking a bit svelte, bro.
I started off at 201 and changed. Well, it's called a big cash bet with 3 housewives. It's really what went down. The weigh-in's next Monday, and it's like a couple grand, and this is the only way I can lose weight. So,
So
I've
mean.
lost.
Yeah.
It's not. No, man. This is all. This is. Well, yeah. It's a lot
You
of
look
greens.
good, Jim.
Thank you,
look good.
Lars.
You look
The only one that actually said I look good. And you said that last night.
I know,
appreciate
I
that.
saw
Man. I appreciate it.
I think I'm
All right.
secretly in love with you.
He's married.
Here we go. All right. Now, most people know Metallica for the music, and I would say there's a macho image, but well, this might come easy then. All right.
That's crazy.
Out of everyone here, now that you have kids and there's a more sensitive life going on, if you guys had to say who is by far the most sensitive in the group with feelings to the point where who would probably cry the first at a very sad movie? Rob, would you like to think who's...
I'd have to say that's a toss-up between James and Kirk, believe it or not.
Traitor.
No, these guys are very deep, man. Very deep. Maybe, I think Kirk.
For look at Kirk, yeah, he's got a little...
Cry now.
Come on, man. You're blowing the macho image. Come on.
Kirk?
blowing the macho image.
There we go.
Kirk, what about you? Who is by far...
Well, since I can't vote for myself, I'd have to say James, only because
Oh, interesting.
I know that his heart can probably wrap around this building.
Wow, that's really... So, my favorite part is just Lars's face the whole time. This whole... I'm not fucking breaking it. I'm not breaking... James? Who's...
Kirk for sure.
Kirk for
It's
sure.
equal between Kirk or Kirk.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen him drop? Has he ever...
But
has he ever-
Lars as well, I would have to say. Lars, he's a big movie dude. You mentioned movies.
Yeah, like the Matt Damon scene. Did you cry, Lars? Did you cry in the Matt Damon scene? When he starts sobbing, Goodwill
Cried
Hunting.
during Scarface, all right? And Blazing Saddles, No, I think Lars is
I
such a
cried
big
in some
movie
kind of
buff.
monster.
I think we all cried. We all cried.
I think the world cried.
Yeah, for us.
It really depends on the subject matter.
Okay.
But I've yet to see Robert cry. I haven't punched him hard enough yet. But but these two guys, yeah,
Wow.
I would say.
All right. How about you, Lars?
I would say if you can't say yourself, then I would have to go with Kirk also.
Wow, Kirk, you really are.
Damn it.
Wow,
Kirk, damn
Blowing
it.
my whole image.
Kirk, damn it.
I never knew you were that sensitive. This is really interesting.
Well, look, he's drinking tea. There you go.
Decaf.
My mom made it for me.
But I think I'm pretty sensitive, but I've trained myself over the years to be able to hide it like really well. It's like the old don't let him see you sweat routine.
Yeah.
And so I can definitely let myself go and ball away with the best of them, but I can also just
Turn it right off.
it does nothing phases me.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Nothing phases me.
See that. Comedian David Tell. You guys all know Dave? Just know maybe. Big blank. Sorry, Dave. David
Do a one-liner from him. We might know him.
David Tell once said on stage, a true friend is someone that you can call in the middle of the night to help change a tire. But then he went on to say, a real true friend is someone you can call in the middle of the night to help bury a body. If that scenario went down, Lars, who'd you have to call? You're in a serious situation. We're not even going to ask questions. But out of these guys right here, James, Kirk, Rob, you can only one of these guys you're going to call. Who's going to help you?
The issue is not who's going to help me. The issue who's going to answer the phone at 3 in the morning. And that's where it gets a little complicated. I would say, let me see, between the 3 of them, the one that has the highest batting average on answering the phone, man, that's like I mean, we're down here probably in double or single digits. We're not even triple digits. Highest batting average from answering the phone between the 3 of you.
Is text included in that?
Text is definitely included.
All right.
We'll even throw in an email.
Okay,
If you're up at that time.
Okay, if you include texting, then I'm gonna have to actually say that I would go to James first, because he now that doesn't mean that James is in any way
No.
an efficient answerer, but he actually he'll usually get back to me texting before these 2 guys do. Usually, I would say between the 3 of them, Rob probably answers his phone slightly more than the other 2.
Fair enough. Kirk, how about you?
Well,
First of all, when you finish crying about what happened.
Crying about the body.
yeah. Well, you know, my answer is based on probably who I would call and then say, but don't tell the other 2 guys. No, I'm just kidding. You know, that's a hard one because I would expect that all 3 of these guys would be able to help me in a time of dire need or embarrassment or whatever, and but I have to say. The man of action would probably be Rob.
I predicted that.
Yeah,
So you're going to run the whole
he would show up at my doorstep, no questions asked.
Bang.
And
That's the key step. See,
that's
the key.
That's important. That's important.
No
whereas
James is going to show up.
James
Dude,
would
what
be
happened?
he'd show up and he'd be pissed. And Lars, if he'd show up and he'd have a million questions for me. But yeah, I think I could rely on all of them.
I think that would be part of the initiation for me, being the new guy. Hey, Rob, you got to help me bury this body, man. Don't ask questions, okay?
Bring the shovel.
Bring the shovel. Don't ask any questions.
Don't ask any questions. You bring a shovel and keep your mouth quiet.
What about you, Rob? You're a new guy.
Oh man, that's a tough one.
Tough.
Again, who would answer their phone? And Lars would probably be the first at 3 in the morning to answer their phone. These guys are in bed a bit earlier than any of us, so I'd have to say Lars.
Well, I'm hearing a bunch of questions within the question. All right, who would pick up their phone? Who's the most reliable? And who would you go to first with something deep and dark and ugly? All right. I think any 3 of these guys would do 1 or 2 or even 3 of those. But the first person I would call would be Lars.
Bang. Yeah. Show's over.